significant implication for future curriculum design and indicators for national development and higher education.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I would like to say greeting for all of all. I hope everything is functional, everything is in a good condition. I would like to greet Mr. Heru Subrata. Is he in here? Pak Heru. And then Ibu Bella Yuli. Are you there, Ibu Bella? And Prof. Yuli, thank you very much. Kalau ini everyone knows you because you lead the meeting the previous days ago. Prof. Yuli, thank you. And Axilan Bagus, where are you, Axilan? Okay, would you like to open the camera? Axilan, thank you very much. Thank you for opening your camera. And then Susi Fitri, thank you very much, Susi Fitri. You have been joining the break room 3. Thank you. And Ibu Febriarsita, where is Ibu Febriarsita? Okay, would you like to open the camera? Thank you, Ibu Febriarsita. We haven't seen Ibu Febriarsita yet. Okay. Ibu Puspa Kalimasani. Ibu Puspa. There is no Ibu Puspa. And last but not least, Mr. Bineta Bara from Nepal. Okay. First, I would like to mention the time spent. Any single persons of the presenters will spend 20 minutes, 15 minutes for your presentation, and the rest, the 5 minutes is you have questions and answer sessions. And we have Johanna in here, my colleague, one of the committee, is a timekeeper. If you reach limitation of time spent, he will remind us. I would like to invite the first presenters. Pak Heru Subrata has become first presenters. Now, time is yours, Mr. Heru Subrata. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, thank you, Mr. Rohak.
Yes.
I would like to share my
Mr. Heru.
screen.
Yes, for explore the investigation.
Yes.
In those specific and platform student learning assessment. So,
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My respected ladies and gentlemen. Introducing myself as Adita Mahendra and Mr. Heru Subrata from Surabaya State University, Indonesia. Please allow us to present our article entitled Implementation of Character Education for Faith, Piety, and Noble Character in Elementary School, a qualitative method approach using MaxQ-DA. All right. First of all, number one, the definition of the character of education. Character education involves teaching children values and virtues that contribute to moral development. Second one, the importance of character education builds a foundation for ethical decisions making and empathy in students, preparing them for future work challenge. Third one is objective of character. To foster an environment that promotes integrity and respect among students, essentially for their overall growth. We present this topic because of the gap in existing research at the very limited number of studies, especially those in elementary schools. We use qualitative methods by utilizing a MaxQDA data processing application software. That this software is also not widely used in data processing, especially qualitative research. The purpose of our research is number one, identifying character education practices. Research and identify character education practice implemented in elementary school to build faith, piety, and noble character. Number two, analyzing teacher and student perceptions. Exploring teachers and students' perceptions and experiences related to the implementation of the character education in the classroom, including the challenges and successes faced. Number three, evaluating program effectiveness. Assess the effectiveness of the character education program in improving student faith, piety, and moral, as well as its impacts on their daily behavior. Number four, applying qualitative analysis with MaxQDA. Using MaxQDA software to analyze qualitative data obtained from interviews, observations, and documents, so as to provide a deeper understanding of the phenomenon under the study. Objective. Number one, explain. Wait. Analyze the implementation of character education in elementary school. Explain in depth how character values, particularly faith, piety, and noble character, are implemented in elementary school settings. Number two, identify challenges and obstacles in implementation of character education. Uncover the challenges faced by teachers, students, and school administrators in implementing character education in elementary schools. Lastly, explore research and student perceptions of character education. Understand teachers and student views on importance of faith, piety, and noble character values in everyday school learning. Okay. All right, now is novelty. Number one, focus on faith, piety, and noble character. While character education is a widely studied field, this research specifically focuses on values such as faith, piety, and noble character, which are often underexplored in character education study. Qualitative approach using MaxQDA. The use of MaxQDA software for qualitative data analysis adds a methodological innovations. Number three, exploring both teacher and student perspectives. The study is novel in its approach to simultaneously explore the perception of both teachers and students, providing a more holistic view of how character education is implemented and experienced from different angles. Okay, next is method. MaxQDA is being utilized in education to enhance character education in elementary schools. The study collects qualitative and quantitative data, including interviews with teachers, principals, and students, to measure the effectiveness of character education and information technology use. All right, step one, prepare, organize, and explore the data. Preparation and organization of data-intensive reading, of interview and writing of initial memo and case summaries. Step two, develop categories for your analysis. The path from the interview guide to the analysis category takes place and which criteria category must be met. Step 3, code your interview. First encoding, and then develop your category system further, and the second coding cycle. The coding process on the category system, the encoded, the part of the text is systematically processed, categories are distinguished, and the data is encoded accordingly in the second encoding cycle. Step 5, analyzing options after coding. And the last one is step 6, write the research report and document the analysis. Writing research report and documenting the analysis process. All right, next one is problem formulation. Number 1, how is character education, including faith, piety, and noble character, implemented in elementary school? Second one, what challenges do teachers and school face in implementing character education, focus on faith, piety, and noble character in elementary schools? Number 3, what are the views of teacher and student on the importance of character education, especially faith, purity, and noble character in elementary school? Then the participants. The participants of this study consist of 26 teachers from 10 elementary schools involved in the implementation of the Merdeka curriculum for elementary schools in Surabaya, Indonesia. The example will be selected by purposely to include variation in experience and educational background. Data collection instrument. Data collection instrument using observation and interviews. The observation will be used to collect quantitative data on teachers' perception of assessment strategy in curriculum Merdeka, focusing of the effectiveness of assessment strategies and factors influencing their implementation. Meanwhile, interviews will be conducted to gain a deeper understanding of their experiences in using assessment strategy in Merdeka curriculum. And the interview, of course, will be recorded and analyzed using by MaxQDA software. Data collective procedure. Right. The observation will be applied to teacher involved in the Merdeka curriculum. Observatory data will be analyzed to identify patterns and trends in teachers' perception. Interviews are recorded, transcribed, and analyzed using content analysis with the help of the MaxQDA. Relevant document will be collected and analyzed to identify assessment strategies recommended in the Merdeka curriculum.
Sorry, excuse me, Mr. Heru Subrata.
Yeah.
Have 5 minutes left to present. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, next. Implementing Pancasila values in education, enhancing character education for faith, piety, and noble. Fieldwork models encourage practical application of values in real-world setting, allowing students to experience and embody Pancasila values. Case studies highlight successful implementations and outcomes that showcase a The first one is research design. The study employs a qualitative research design aiming to explore the implementation of character education in elementary school with a focus of the value of faith, piety, and noble character. The participant of this study consists of elementary school teachers, students, and school administrators from selected public and private elementary schools. And then data collection method. To qualitative data collection from interview, FGD observation and document analysis will be analyzing using MaxQDA software. Okay, results. Implementation of character education. The finding shows that character education, focusing on faith and noble character, is implemented through various methods in the selected elementary schools. The perception of teachers and students. Both teachers and students express strong support for character education, especially regarding its importance for personal development. Challenge in implementation. Several challenges were highlighted in implementing character education effectively. Discussion. Integration of faith, piety, and noble character in schools. The result indicate the elementary schools are generally successful in embedding character education into daily routines and formal teachings. Challenges in implementation. The study reveals several challenges in implementing character education effectively, such as time constraint, lack of resource, and teacher training gaps. Perception of teachers and students. The study findings indicate that both teachers and students view the character education as essential for personal development. Okay, last one. Continuous improvement. Regularly update curricula based on research and feedback to ensure relevance and effectiveness. Collaborative approach involve educators, parents, and policy makers in development for a holistic view and support. Long-term goals focus on developing well-rounded ethical individual prepared for global citizenship and responsible action. All right, thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Mr. Heru Subrata, for the presentation. Now we have a question and answer session. We have 5 minutes to go. Please raise your hand if you want to ask something or make an additional information or make clarification on Mr. Heru Subrata presentation. We will be very happy because it become a fruitful conference, fruitful international conference, make new insight for all of us. Professor, you would like to say something because you have opened your microphone. It's honorable for you, for Prof. Yuli to say something. Thank you, Prof. Time is yours.
Thank you so much, Pak Heru, for the presentation. So I would like to ask, do you have any experience with another software of qualitative data like NVivo, Atlas TI, and so on? So if you have that experience, what do you think about compared to the Maxda that you are using for data analysis? The second one regarding the character education, and what do you think the challenge? Because I think in the elementary schools, we also facing the challenge on implementing the thematic approach and the curricula as well. Okay, thank you. That's my two questions.
Great question from Professor Yuli Rahmawati. Time is yours for Mr. Heru Subrata to respond, Miss Prof. Yuli Rahmawati's questions.
All right, thank you for the question. Okay, MaxQDA have MaxQDA can be used by two methods. One qualitative and one quantitative, or we can say mixed method. But in here, yeah, in our research, we just use a qualitative for the research, for this research, of course.
Maybe you have additional information, Mr. Heru, about what the difference between another methods. Make a comparison, maybe what is the strength of the MaxQGA between others. Maybe make an additional information for you.
Can I answer it in bahasa Indonesia?
If we say in Indonesia, some of people in here are coming from foreign country, coming from Nepal. He will not understand what you are saying, Mr. Heru Subrata. Not a problem. Use maybe a simple English. At least it's intelligible. At least everyone know what you are saying. Not such a difficult word, but a simple word. That's okay. Okay. Oh, you have 2 minutes left, Mr. Heru Subrata.
But I think it may be okay to say it in Indonesia.
Nggak apa-apa ya, bahasa Indonesia dibantu mentranslate ya, nggak apa-apa ya.
Alright.
Pak Heru, nggak apa-apa bahasa
Translate bahasa
Indonesia.
Indonesia, nggak apa-apa. Nanti dibantu translate.
Ini kayaknya Mary aja yang Mary yang
Oke. Oke, saya bantu mentranslate ya. Monggo silakan Mas. Pak Heru Subrata, silakan. Saya bantu.
Okay.
I will translate what are you saying, but not too fast. Only the point.
Yang pertama,
So we facilitate other sovereign country. Yes.
comprehensive data management.
Oh, the comprehensive data management, the power, the strength of MixQGA, right?
Ya.
Ya. Oke, yang kedua Mas.
And
Sorry,
then
Heru.
mixed method integration, the qualitative
Mixed
and
method integration.
number 3, use friendly interfaces.
Use friendly interface. So it is for anyone can operate. It's not too
Yeah.
difficult, not too sophisticated. Okay.
Okay. The next one is code system flexibility.
Pardon?
Code system flexibility.
Code system flexibility. Mr. Harus means that flexible. What is the flexible? The data analysis is flexible, or what the meaning of flexible maybe? Habis, time out.
Provides
Okay.
the flexible
Sorry.
coding option.
Okay. Thank you very much. Maybe if do you want this is something, maybe you must maybe you must contact Prof. Yuli, or Prof. Yuli can ask through the email. Okay, thank you very much. Because we have a limitation of time. Thank you, Mr. Heru Subrata. Thank you. We go to the second presenters in here. Ibu Bella Yugi. Okay, Miss Bella Yugi, time is yours. Yes. Oh, so sorry. So sorry, you say something, but we cannot hear you, Ibu Bella. You have said something, but we cannot hear you. So sorry. Maybe you haven't turned on your microphone yet. So sorry.
Maybe Pak Heru Need to stop share.
Mr. Heru can
Mr. Heru, would you like to stop share, please? Because your presentation is still there. Wait, I find. Mr. Heru Subrata, would you like to stop share, please? Okay. Now, this time is Mr. Belayugi Fazni, please. Once more, Ibu Bella, we cannot hear your sound. So sorry for that. Um, so sorry for that, Ibu Bella.
can you hear my voice?
Yes, yes,
Mbak
now
Bella, ada
we
nggak
hear.
usah pakai headset. Oh, the boy. Iya.
Yes, you have a baby. Maybe you can turn off the screen because you still have a baby.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
I'm afraid you are disturbing the baby. Maybe you can hug. Maybe you're shameful with the audience. You can turn off your camera. Maybe.
Oh,
To be
okay, thank you.
better.
Okay, now. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, Ibu Bella.
I start a presentation about living educational theory and the value of openness, gender equality, and social justice. Okay, my introduction. I start about multicultural counseling course. Sorry, why is not gini aja deh. Suratnya gimana? Nah, oke. Then, okay. My in introduction, uh, I explore about multicultural counseling course opens the window of self is myself. Uh, in my article, I share and describe about multicultural counseling course in my magister guidance and counseling uh, studies multicultural issue in counseling session. In this class, I was trained to recognize and be aware of my own multicultural issue before being able to help counsel others. And in this class, for example, uh, I have learned about gender and sexuality, material that changed my perspective on the importance of being educated on gender and sexuality. The lecture opened my eyes to self-reflect consciously that women can have a voice and be empowered, and feeling and displaying a variety of emotion is normal as a human being. Point is important for me because culture in my environment so patriarchy, and the norm of Indonesian society is majority is patriarchy. So I reflection from my text in reflection in my magister guidance and counseling. I start with my childhood. In my childhood, for in 1996, 1996, when I was 6 years old, as a tomboy's girls, a girl who behaves masculine. I was considered strange, not in line with the norm, and ostracized by my peers. I raised this consequence because of the why I address, behave, body language, and spoke that was not like other girls. Pants were our favorite clothes, and I called most me in them. And I get advice from teacher and surrounding environment is you are a girl, behave like a gentlewoman, wear skirt and dress, so you look elegant. You play with girls, not boys. Girls play with girls, boys play with boys. It's always saying gundu. Gundu like a small ball in Indonesia. And or girls have long hair instead of short hair like a boys, because my favorite hair when I children is a bob, like a polwan hair. However, being a tomboy girl was not a problem for my parents. Nah, so tomboy is my label, but I'm is love explore myself when I 6 years. And the window of self, I recognize the application of living educational theory while I was a student without realizing it. Because in that class, I'm learning not only in the paper, I learning more out at the paper, not only article, essay, relative, but I'm observed, I'm 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 feel more human and sympathetic now. The text of article reflection has been implemented until now. I have had conversation with professor, lecture saat itu gitu ya, college now, my college lecture now, and have changed myself after I'm understanding the process learning experience when I'm magister guidance and counseling. After I start lecturing, I want to give my students access to a similar learning system pattern, so they could also benefit from the knowledge I had gained. gained. Okay, this is evidence my tax when I magister guidance and counseling. I have four, but I want to show two for you. And concern and background in my article, I share about the first is I start with my thesis research, because in my thesis, I this I putuskan. I the I putusin ngomongnya diputusin apa ya? What the word about putusin?
Decided
I
apa?
ya
Memutuskan, putus apa memutuskan?
memutuskan.
Decided. I decide. Decided.
I decided my thesis research about advocation in guidance counseling service models. This theme is I reflects that education provision in Indonesia is not yet comprehensive and structured to meet the need to knowledge and gender equality and sexuality. This is my first time I start my living educational theory. I I in the thesis long research more I have more rejection from a school location because they say my sensitive issue challenge, and they say you can give more you can give student bad influence. So I get rejection from a school location. Sebentar ya nak ya. Then the rejection I received made my social justice self value boil to preserve. Ya, tunggu dulu ya. And challenge me to fight. Eventually, I was allowed to do research in 30 other school locations. I received positive feedback from the other school to me research. Thank you. This is knowledge is what teenagers need now. They know their limits and hopefully can avoid unwanted things. Based on the above background, I feel I have a social role and responsibility to fill the void of providing gender equality education to the community. Hopefully, gender equality education can create equal relationship and reduce the occurrence of violence in educational institutions. Though this article in my Kala, I try to reflect on the method of living educational theory from the result of the implementation and reconstruction of my higher education Tridharma, practice as a lecture, research, teaching, and community service activities. Best the value of mine is openness, gender equality, and social justice to students and my college. Okay, I start about
Sorry,
yeah,
Miss Bella.
yeah.
I want to remind you that you have 5 minutes left to present. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. I start about the results. This is a result about the resultnya. In my research, choose a framework creative identity and legitimacy as a researcher. My last research titled Survey of Sexual Violence in Virus Indonesia University, an advocacy service model for handling sexual violence in the microsystem group of study program, are the result of reflection of living educational theory from the journey of life researching the thesis. Because I'm doing a question reflection when I'm make a roadmap research. Is it only teenager who need gender and sexuality education? Have my students even ever experienced sexual violence? How can they advocate for themselves as victims of sexual violence on campus? Do they understand that gender roles, gender stereotype, power relation, and microaggression play a role in the occurrence of sexual violence? Then I can more research about this issue. Investigating the outcome of self-reflection response. The research findings serve as discussion material in the class and provide solution to student inquiries. The motivation for my research is the reconstruction and improvisation of the value of openness using the living educational method. My openness inspires deeper questions that require additional investigation and development research. Semakin banyak, more question is more research for me. More reflection, more question begin. The value of social justice encourage one to continue speaking out and fighting for equality and inclusion in the system. Because research effort can build support networks for handling and disseminating research findings. They can relate, they can create awareness and understanding of building a gender equality system within the campus environment. This is evident when I will start research with my student gitu. They say I'm very enthusiastic and fortunate to have the opportunity to be educated with material on sexuality and gender equality, very beneficial. And this my another Tridharma is a learning classroom. In the learning classroom, I reconstruct my classroom learning with information related to gender equality education, not only in the class discussion topic, but also in learning attitude, assignment, and teaching method. I design lecture assignment by giving self-reflection. In my background article, I have sounding about that in accommodate. Tunggu sebentar ya nak ya. Accommodate accordance with what I had learning in the multicultural counseling course. Not only that, students are given the opportunity to explore independently the project-based learning to make a media product based on gender equality values. And I accepted being a expert validator of student thesis research product, especially gender equality and sexuality themes, because that legitimize my values of openness, gender equality, and social justice. This is how I can implementation my value at the class. And then this is evidence about the learning in the classroom. This is a task, question task. This is a.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Bella, your time is out.
Thank you.
The next session is Q&A.
Bolehkah aku
Okay,
minta?
so sorry, Ibu Bella, your time is out. So sorry for that. Maybe for the next presenter, would you like to mind about the time management? Because because you have an additional presenters in here. Maybe the audience can may have questions or additional information or confirmation maybe. We will be very happy. So it will be fruitful breakout room, not only silent competition. But it's an interesting topic, Ibu Bella. Oh, Ibu Susi want to ask something. Ibu Susi, yes, please.
Thank you, moderator. Bella, I really like your presentation. It really showed the most important thing in social area, especially women. But now, actually, sexual harassment not only happen to women but also men. I think, especially boys. And based on your experience in researching based on educational living theory, what is the most inspiring thing that you have during your research about sexual harassment issue in education? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. May I answer now, moderator?
Sure,
Okay.
Ibu Bella, you can respond instantly. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. In my article, I spill the data I get about this is sexual harassment fact about my research result. in Indonesia, sexual harassment, especially victim student mahasiswa at university gitu ya. University, I get stabilo about the first. Not only woman is a victim. Man can be a victim to get a sexual harassment. The first, and the second is a man have more resiliency tough enough dibandingkan
Compared to,
ya
compared to
women in the university. Men can speak up when they have they get sexual harassment, but a woman
Can
they
you do that?
yeah, they can do that.
They keep silent.
Choose keep the problem self and silent treatment or crying just it. Maybe they in the survey they say feeling takut. They are afraid about the about they afraid the power about the pelaku
perpetrator.
The suspect.
perpetrator. Yes, they afraid perpetrator doing the power abuse for them. From a woman student keep silent, and man student vocal in the sexual harassment as a victim. I found it in my research.
Okay, Ibu Bella, because we have a limitation in here, because we also another presenters. Thank you, Ibu Bella. Please give applause for Ibu Bella presentation by giving a reaction to this like this one. Okay, thank you, Ibu Bella. Now, Ibu Bineta, Ma'am Bineta from Nepal, want to excuse, but we have Ibu Yuli Rahmawati first. But
Nggak apa-apa, Bineta aja.
Oh, okay, Bineta, you are accepted.
Yeah,
You're granted, accepted, Ibu Bineta. Okay, okay, Ibu Bineta. Ibu Mrs. Bineta, time is yours.
Sure. I'm so sorry for cutting the line because I also have another.
Not a problem.
Thank you for
You have
this
a permission.
opportunity.
Ibu Yuli is kind person. He give you permission.
Okay. I will share my presentation now, and then we'll start.
Yes.
Share. Is it visible?
Yes. Just need to
clear.
Okay, so
clear.
Thank you for this opportunity. I'm very new researcher in academic, though I have worked a little bit in academic field, but this is my first paper I'm working on it. So hopefully I will get constructive feedback with you, all the experienced writer. I have I've started writing this paper with my own journey, that how I'm struggling as a new researcher, the first comer researcher, and then how I used to think about this research. First, I would like to explain about the purpose of my research, to explore my transformation as a researcher, and also to go in the process of critical autoethnography, reflecting process from a very traditional positive mindset in a research field, and also reflecting on my expectations as a personal and in professional field. So this research has like more my experiences, and I want to start that whenever I came to know about research, I always came to know about the numbers and how numbers were like, give the importance of the research. Like, for example, of the survey of national, they used to say that this many numbers of the population are in certain countries, and this like 49% female represent and 50% male represent, 80% are literate and like 90% are illiterate, and in these also females are this, all these numbers were there. And I always thought that research should be in numbers and it should be quantitative measures. So for me, research was always a numbers, and there should be very strictly objective and validate in the research. But I don't know, fortunately or unfortunately, I was in one of the Rupantaran project working and did participatory action research in my master's. And then I was always looking at the how many observation cycles I have made, how many plan cycles I did made, rather than the narratives, data, and which were very rich. And I was always thinking of numbers. Oh, this were the cycles I did, and I was stuck in this positivist mindset. So though I was so much rich with data, I could not capture in my writing. Later on only I realized these things. And when I reflect why these things happened, then I came to realize that I was brought in a school where we were doing rote memorization, like maybe Pasang Lamu Sherpa, Tenzing Norway Sherpa climbed Mount Everest on this date, and the first female Pasang Lamu Sherpa climbed the mountain on this date. The numbers, there was like general knowledge always. And Nepal is like Nepal, there are highest mountains in Nepal, and then these are the things, there are like 7 continents in the world. Everything was in rote memorization, and there were more, the teaching style was more informative rather than analyzing those information and using in real life. I was always memorizing things like what is the formula of, in mathematics, in science, always doing calculation, but without realizing the impact and the applicability in daily life. So this was my exposure in my educational background from school level. And limited exposure was there for my research diverse. Though I used to work in the university, but I was a master's student, and everyone was doing PhD and everything, and they were like, I used to always get scared to ask question whether I will be a very foolish girl to ask this kind of question. So this was, this kind of thing maybe made me stay back because of myself, that I didn't reach out properly. And then I started reading the research papers from the professor who have worked with me in the university. And then I realized that they have always, try to tell a story with their past experience and teaching practices, and then how they have evolved with this. And they published that research paper, when I read the paper of Professor Balchandra Luitel, Vinod Prasad, they were writing their stories of their classroom practices and all. And I also thought that, oh, maybe I can try with my own experience, that how I struggled with in my master's thesis doing participatory action research, and how can I critically reflect on this thing. So I started doing this. And also I regret of not publishing the paper, though I was surrounded with the academic circle while I was working in the university as a research assistant, though I did most of the administrative work. And so that led me to come back again to the university and share my personal experience, linked with my personal experience to critical autoethnography and reflexivity, and wanted to contribute my insights to academic literature. That's the reason I started writing this paper. And while writing this paper, I also connected with one of my very bad experience. Like, it was a feedback from master's teacher in one of my assignments that she was expecting me, because I was working with a very renowned professor as a research assistant doing his almost every administrative work. So she said that, oh, I was expecting very good research because you work with him, and then this is your, because I was only a master's student, and that was also my first semester class. And then from that day I started, not asking question, not going forward with my like with that bad experience. I kept things to myself, so that led me to not to go forward. So it impacted a lot of my confidence in academic performance and academic area. So this was I don't want to blame that teacher, but to myself, that I should have gone to her then and asked what was her expectations, and then started writing paper rather than only submitting assignment at the deadline, so that there won't be any feedbacks. I should have faced that criticism, because ignoring those criticism led me to to be unsuccessful in academic area. So this was one of the very bad experience, though I was always praised with my administrative roles and responsibilities. Like I did my role very well, and they were like, okay, you are doing good, and you can do very better, you can learn to write papers and all. They were like always encouraging, but I was always going back and like staying back, because I was afraid of facing criticism. So when I started working in development sector, and when I start supervising this like my supervisors, then I, as a team leader, when I have to make observation of my team members' performance, and like I also did the same thing. Like they were working for more than 10 years in the same role, and I was expecting they could have done much better, and I was doing the same as my the teacher to them. Then only I realized, oh, this is very bad, because they were doing the same job, nobody was there to give feedback, and also people always resist feedback. So I have to find a way to give them feedback, so that they will realize and try to improve, and at the same time they won't feel humiliated or something, like they have worked for 10 years, and then this is suddenly the new person comes and provides you feedback. So I started reflecting on these things and practicing, and later on when we became very good friends, like with my supervisors, and then we started working together, I could see their improvement. And so I realized that when you want to empower and improve, then you have to be give positive feedbacks first, and then only like critical feedback, so that it will not hamper them. Make good relation with them and make them feel that you really want to improve their life rather than criticism. So these things led me into my leadership, and then like nurturing caring nature than the judgmental attitude. So these things made me realize also back of my university experience, and then my perspectives were changed, and then I started recognizing the patterns that I also have similar expectation, because I also I'm grown up in the same community. So evolving from the judgmental status to support and empower, the colleagues around me, had realized me, oh, I can do in academic paper, I have to face criticism, and I can do that, and I still have the academic circle in the Kathmandu University, so I can come back anytime and then work on. So this is my first attempt to do the paper. So with this kind of experience I have trying to do, and also like I have tried to bring a little bit of cultural influence and expectations in critical autoethnography, that how our judgments and judgmental behavior and expectations will have the pattern, whatever our senior or like in our society, family, senior members or the colleagues they have been doing, we do similar way in our subconscious mind. We only have to realize. So the patient, we need to have patient support, and then guidance, and also
Sorry. Yeah, Mrs. Vineta, I want to remind you that you have 5 minutes left to present. Thank you.
Okay, okay, and then also to be nurturing the like very nurturing and empowering, and then encouraging them to progress. So this is the thing. And then in my research, I have always critically reflect on my own practice, on my own experiences, and how power and privilege within the organizational hierarchy will let people not to grow rather than feel humiliated. And so this power and hierarchy position should be more like, you know, in a collaborative manner, in participatory way, so that people can come and then show their vulnerable aspect as well without feeling humiliated, and then come to, you know, for better improvement. So rather than hierarchy and power, maybe collaborative compassion and empowerment nature will help people to grow personally and professionally. So I have also tried to connect in this paper Mizrao's transformative learning theory, where we can do deep analysis of our own experience to challenge the ongoing power dynamics, and also to see the world with reflective learning, and then experience that links way of our thinking, and like how I struggle with my positivist approach in with though there was very rich narrative data, and how I reflect on my research challenges and education background, that recognizing the need of alternative paradigms in my research, in my practice, in my professional field. So how transformation is really important within yourself, and then you can transform your circle with the positiveness, and then politeness and collaborative and participatory. That's all I want to say. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Mrs. Pineda. Now we go to questions and answer session. Please raise your hand if you want to ask a question or make an additional information or make confirmation. Yes, please. Mr. Wazir Ali. Yes, please. Yes, Mr. Wazir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I would like to ask
Yes.
that, as
Yes.
presenter has mentioned,
Mr.
experiences.
Wazir,
So,
would you like to speak louder, please? Because your voice is too
yeah,
low.
if
Okay, okay. Good,
you can
good.
hear
Now
me,
it's
yeah.
better. Now it's better.
Thank you. Yeah, I came to understand that this was a narrative biography. So, if you could explain that it was really a narrative biography that you have written about your experiences, or you want to relate it with some other research background or ethnography? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your question. I started writing critical autoethnography, and it is basically my experience. And with transformative learning theory, I try to connect with my experiences and try to write the things that come with the reflection.
Okay. Is it?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you for the question, Mr. Ali. Now we go to Ibu Yuli. Time is
Yes.
yours, Ibu Yuli.
Thank you, Pak. So, Bineta, since Nepal is really supporting with this kind of research, is there any, I mean, any students or anyone still doing the quantitative or mixed method, the other kind of research? So, I would like to know how it is integrated in the school as well. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, there are people who do quantitative research and mixed method. And I think in our department, most of them are more in qualitative and in kind of using transformative theory.
Okay, thank you.
Wow, you have so many respond. Ibu Bineta, Mrs. Bineta. Anyone else, please? What time does it last? Berapa waktu lama lagi? Okay, we still have 4 minutes for the Mrs. Pineta
If there is
time
no
to
question, we can
asking
go.
questions. We still have 4 minutes. It has two.
Any questions, any feedbacks? I would love to incorporate in my paper because this is my first writing, so I would love to have feedbacks.
Yeah,
You're great,
yeah.
Mrs.
Yeah.
Pineta.
It's very great, Bineta. I mean, because we have read the paper by Milton and Peter on the multiparadigmatic research, and then I think the experience of moving different paradigms, especially the power of positivism, will like inspiring to others how to
Yes, yes,
shifting that
sure,
kind
for
of
sure.
values, epistemology and so on. So please publish the paper so everyone can know the experience, because we just keep it in in our hearts and values as well. So we are waiting for your publication to read it through. Thank you.
Actually, it will be a new insight, is it right, Ibu Yuli?
Yeah.
New insight, the positivism. Yes. Oh, there is a
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Miss Mary Huxtable.
Mary.
How will you develop your research?
Well,
Okay, it's from
Marie. Thank you, Marie. I'm just writing draft, and I have a professor who will be helping me to finalize this paper. He's Niroz Dal from Kathmandu University, and he's encouraging me to write. And I've only completed my first draft. So after the comments, I will start with the comments, because I have wrote all my thoughts in the paper. Maybe I haven't followed the structured research way or something, and with the feedbacks of them, I will try to narrow it down, or to make towards the working in feedbacks. Maybe I will have proper academic paper. So this is the plan for now.
Still 2 minutes, but you have so many people to respond in your part. Usually only one, but you
I think
3
I
minutes
made very
to
short
4 persons
presentation.
giving you additional information, give you a question. It means your
There is question
presentation
from
is
Mary.
interesting.
There's question from Mary on chat box.
Oh, there is a chat. Thank you.
I have addressed to Mary's question.
Oh, yes.
I have
Okay.
addressed
Okay.
her.
Yes, yes, you have done. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Pineta, for the interesting presentation. It become new insight for all of us, and I wish your study can run well and can pass quickly as possible and have a perfect grades. Thank you,
Thank you
Mrs.
very
Pineta.
much.
In master degree,
Thank
are
you
you
very
now? You are
much.
now. Master degree or in doctoral degree?
I'm doing
Mrs. Pineta.
MPhil in STEAM education. I have completed my master's. I've just started MPhil.
Oh, so sorry.
Congratulations, Bineta.
Just now you're just reading. Thank you very much. Now we go to Ibu Yuli.
Yeah, I have so
Ibu
many
Yuli.
slides, but I will do the quick presentation
No,
after this.
no. You
Okay, thank you so much.
you're one of the mastermind.
Thank you very much,
in the
Pak Ustad.
TER, Transformative Education Research. One of the mastermind that we got, that the
Okay.
world have.
Okay, thank you very much. So I would like to share one of the section on my dissertation, and then it is at the moment will be my living educational theory, but not yet developed in detail. It is, I believe in truth, the religious belief in my teaching identity as chemistry teacher educator. So it is the four research four question that I would like to try to explore in the paper. Who am I? And then how do I perceive Islam in my teaching identity? And then how do I integrate Islam in my chemistry teaching? And also how do I become transformative Muslim teacher educator? So it is my identity. Who am I? So if you see the poster that Jack mentioned on the keynote address yesterday, so it is the right one about the Islamic values that I would like to explore in my presentation today. Several things that I have done, and you can have a look. Most of the engagement is throughout the culture approach, cultural responsive teaching, and also STEAM education with art. And I develop several research group, including even the pragmatist paradigm in the ways of understanding learning environment. And then I received the grant from UNESCO regarding the learning for empathy, and it is one of the way of character education, the values, and so on. And it is my poem. I would like to read to exploring my teaching identity. I'm someone. I'm a female. I'm Indonesian. I'm a Muslim. I'm someone. I'm a daughter. I'm a sister. I'm a wife and a mother. I'm a teacher and a student. I'm someone who convey my words to describe myself, engage Islam to explore my soul, empower my identity in Islamic value. I'm someone who learns to understand myself, who discerns to understand others within my different roles and dimension. I shape my identity as a transformative Muslim teacher educator. So it's shaping my writing on my paper. And it is the way myself at the moment. And then at the moment, I'm the head of, as a chemistry teacher educator, the lecturer, and also the head of department. And also I involved in the policy in the national levels, and also in the personal life. I'm a wife, mother, and also the first daughter on the three sisters. And the strongest values at the moment is influenced by my parents, because both of them are religion teachers. And throughout the shifting for the next year, I will move to another position in Australia. So it will be the influence, the way I shape my teaching identity as well, in the ways of Islamic and the cultural values. It's all the pictures is on the left is my father who influenced so much, and also my mother. We doing the umroh together, and all the job that related on the mind teaching identity as well, including Peter, who influenced the way. And during this 1 year, Mary and Jack really influenced the way I develop my teaching identity as well. So the second one is about how do I perceive Islam in my teaching identity. So if you see my dissertation is critical autoethnography with multi-paradigmatic research. So I including the interpretivism, criticalism, and also postmodernism. So
Is
with
it Ibu Yuli at the past time in the
yeah,
picture? Yes,
it's different.
Mr. Prof. Peter, but
Yeah.
it doesn't looks like you, Ibu Yuli. Now you are becoming professors. You're becoming, yes, really big a difference
So
from the
Peter
picture.
also
Sorry
looks
from the
like different.
pictures.
So what happened with I have the supervisor and co-supervisor, like Peter is really into multi-paradigmatic research, critical autoethnography, and Prof. Reka call more in positivism. So it's opened my mind to develop how to moving different paradigms. So the title of my dissertation is Revealing and Reconceptualizing Teaching Identity Through the Landscape of Culture, Religion, Transformative Learning, and Sustainability Education, a transformative journey of a science educator. So it is the way throughout my research until now to develop this kind of topic regarding the research group. And it is the truth. So because the title is about the truth, that I always believe that the truth is in every aspect in my life. And then because one truth that I hold very strong is in my religion, that I believe in God, and I hold that as an absolute truth. And then I believe that God creates human and the universe. So source of in Islam, Quran, Hadith, and also Ijtihad is the way that integrated in my value. And then because I realized that different people hold also different values based on their experience, and they express their beliefs and also the truths in different ways. So, but I believe that God allows us to find the truth. So I consider my religion as the basic to seeking any truth in my life, including when I'm doing the research and being a teacher educator. And it is my experience throughout my childhood, as I have uh, my parents as religion teachers. I shake and kiss my mother's and father's hand after we perform jamaah together in Maghrib Salat. We always have to have the perform jamaah during my childhood. We always perform jamaah Maghrib, Isha, Salat when my parents arrive home after teaching in the schools. I follow my parents' movements from standing up, ruku, sujud, because I cannot remember all the doa during prayers. I just follow my parents. During praying, it is important to concentrate. Therefore, I just keep looking at my parents to see what they are doing. After my father performs dua and finishes praying, my mothers prepares dinners for us. Then my mother asked me to go to my neighbor house to give food to them. I walk to my neighbor's house and see that my neighbors look happy, and she thanks to me for the food. Then she tells me to wait because she also would like to give me some food to take to my family. I wait at the front of the house for a while until she comes with a plate of food. I don't understand why my mother always gives dishes to our close neighbors. I just obey her because my parents always have told me that Islam encourage us to be kind to our neighbors, because the Prophet set the example of giving food to his neighbors. There are also other practices that my parents have taught me that I don't understand. Why should I perform prayers? Why should we give food and be kind to our neighbors? Why should I obey my parents? Why should I? Why should we? So that is my reflection throughout my childhood experience. Just follow, and then I think several Muslim kids also doing the same thing. And then it is the way initiated my integrated Islam in my teaching. So I'm a Muslim because I was born as a Muslim, educated in powerful Islamic environment. Both my parents are Islamic religion teachers, and it is really shaped my values, beliefs, and practice within my life. And Islam is my way in every aspect of my life, because my parents always taught me a good practice value in Islam, even though sometimes I don't understand. But my parents always explain what these were Islamic values, and then they should be upheld. So it is the theoretical framework. I took several look at different views of religion as a culture, identity, relationship, practice, and also the power. It gives me the integrated factor, that different perspective, how understanding the religion that's shaping my teaching identity. And I use the theoretical of dialectical thinking to understanding the role of religion, because I realize religion not a symbol, but also representing my identity, which give the energy to guide my life journey. So I need to understand how religion shaping my teaching approach and also my interaction with my students. And it is the several values that I try to integrate it. So exploring Islamic principle and also values from Quran and also from Hadith. Like, we believe that teaching helping others to develop their minds, to change their negative behavior, and most important, to equip younger generation to create better future of the world. So it's all the Hadith the Prophet say, and also several charity, like Hadith mentioned, the good word is charity, and teaching must be sharing. One of things is the good word. And the second one is about the kindness, because the second value in Islamic, because I believe that Allah will give rewards for all good things that we do. And as my parents always taught me, be a good Muslim who does a good things in my life, including being a teacher. I don't have any doubt that teaching is, sorry, is my daughter. Then teaching is always a way to go.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I just want to reminder that you have 5 minutes
5
left.
minutes. Yeah,
Present.
okay.
Thank
Right.
you.
So it is the useful, the most useful is the one to contribute to others. And also when you pass away, one of the things is your child prayers and also knowledge given to others. So it's the five values that basically in Islamic religion. So we need to not only have your knowledge, but you have to share to others. And then it is the other my reflection about using whole Islam as ideology to create broad understanding of Islam. So not only the religion, but also way of life. So the third one is Islam and science. So if you have a contradiction, especially for Galileo, is Islam, science and religion is contradict each other, but so many reference if you have a look. So I have constructed several reference, also reflection to myself. I don't want to using the conflict between science and religion. So I would like to do it as integration, complementary, and so on, because in Indonesia, religion is one of the obligatory subject, but it is not obligation only for religion, but civic education, but also science. So I also using the principle of philosophy of science in Islam. If you see how it is integrated, for example, about the cosmos and the nature of science, it also integrated in the Quran and also in the philosophy of science. And if you see the relationship in Islam, so there is a Sadar 2001 mentioned about Islamic science should reveals the truth and knowledge. It should not contradict each other. So the way how I integrate science and my teaching, it is the example, it is the concept of science, the other in the hadith and also in Quran. So probably later on I will explain in detail. And it is the miracle of iron. It is on the chemistry learning. So iron is one of the element is highlighted in the Quran. And then in chemistry learning, we learn about the iron itself because it's important element. And it's also about the petrol and also oxidation in the blood. It is one of the subjects. So it is the example how to integrate this chemistry in the teaching. And then exploring chemistry provide me opportunity for my own understanding of Islam, because I'm not ulama, the one who really deep understanding on Quran, but the way using the Islam and then using the chemistry is really influenced me to exploring the scientific knowledge and Quran in the future. So it is the example of my supervised students. So I doing the collaboration, complementary between the nature of science, critical thinking, exit-based topic, and also atomic structure in chemistry learning. So Ilma, it is we implementing in the classroom about the rain, about the element, about the iron, about the structure. So it is the feedback of the my pre-service teacher and also the student why they asking about the contradiction between Islam as well how to create the meaningful learning experience. So the last one, I create 3 different ways about empowering for being transformative Muslim teacher educator, and exploring chemistry pre-service teacher identity, and also engagement chemistry concept in teaching and research. So it is the one that I would like to integrating like social justice and equity, critical pedagogy, and also spiritual development in education throughout being a chemistry teacher educator. And then throughout I used to asking my student, why do you want to become a teacher? Why do you want, how do you integrate your religion in your chemistry teaching? What are you envisioning? So this kind of question always asking in my classroom since the first day. And the last one, because I try to relate chemistry curriculum to the chemistry concept, and then I'm ongoing supervise my student on the research on the chemistry and Islam. So the last to close my presentation in the name of Allah. I cannot see, but I can feel. I cannot tell, but I can sense. In the name of Allah, the feeling of peace, feelings of calmness, the feeling of spirit, I just cannot tell. In the name of Allah, I follow the pathway, I follow the guidelines, I obey the convention, and I obey the rules. In the name of Allah, proud being a teacher, proud for being useful for others, proud of developing knowledge, proud of loving my students. In the name of Allah, here it is my teaching, in your ways, in my faith, in my belief. Okay, thank you so much. And teaching is not all about delivering knowledge, but also about touching your student hearts, stimulating their thinking, and empowering their action. And thank you for Mary to attending this presentation. You are one of the inspiring people for me to keep going, and also Bu Susi Fitri. That's also always inspiring me and also empower me during the journey. Thank you so much. Selamat pagi. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you. It's lovely presentations, but not all Muslims like you, Ibu Yuli. If any Muslims like you, wow, what a wonderful world! What a lovely world! There is no envy, no jealous, no arrogant. Islamic value covers everything until make a good deeds, until knowledge, until whatever, everything is covered. So Mr. Wazir Ali is the first person we're going to ask question. Mr. Wazir Ali, your please, yes. May Juliana, we all of gets inspired from Ibu Yuli, yeah? But not all Muslims like Ibu Yuli. If Ibu Yuli can be copied, we will copy Ibu Yuli as many as possible. But she is not a paper; she is a human. Okay. Thank you, Ibu Yuli. Ibu Juliana. Okay, Mr. Wazir Ali, we cannot hear your voice. Okay. Oh, you're still in a bus.
I'm trained.
We cannot hear your voice,
It is
sir.
noisy
So
sometimes.
sorry. Unclear voice, sir. We cannot hear your voice. No worries. We still waiting. We are still waiting for you. Yes. You can go in the chat room. Yes. Ibu Yuli.
Yeah, okay. So probably Bu Yana ya, Bu Juliana ya.
Ibu
Nanti
Yuli, Ibu Yuli.
Excuse me, may I start my question, please?
Yes, for
While
sure.
waiting, Mr. Wazir.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ulhak, for the opportunity for me,
Yes, sure.
and I'm one of Prof. Yuli's student, and trying to start learning about transformative and living theory, and Prof. Yuli so inspired me for a lot of things. I think just well, only for inspired, but I haven't not yet doing anything. Sorry, Prof. Yuli. But
So me, Ibu Juri,
the
like
question,
me, Ibu Juri.
yeah, I like.
If Ibu Yuli is not objective, may you share for me, maybe for the others, your presentation. Maybe if you're not
Yeah.
objective.
Prof. Yuli, I like your first slide about who am I.
Yes.
Who am I is always make myself, especially question along the life. Who am I actually? And my question, how or which step I try to follow your path, your experience and research in transformative or living theory. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much. So it's actually it is really there is two ways. Because during the reflection you really need to deep thinking about yourself, who you are. Like sometimes the easiest way is understanding your roles. For example, as chemistry teacher educator, as a mom, as a child, as a son, daughter, and different roles in your life. So what do you think you are? I am a teacher educator who has patience, something like that. So that's the first one, related to your role and also the identity. The next one, when you remember, because sometimes we just cannot come into the grand theory, for example, or the things of really deep into your life. So what I'm doing, I usually remember the critical incidents or the memorable experience in my life. So for example, like I remember how my parents like told me, you are a woman just being a teacher. So the conversation with my parents, and also like I told the story about I always doing perform solat and everything follow my parents. That's really blend into my lives, the way of my lives. So I can conclude like look at your roles and then exploring in the story or experience that memorables, and after that you will find value.
Sorry,
Yes.
excuse me, Mrs. Julie, your time is out.
Okay. Thank you
So
so much.
sorry.
Sorry.
The time has limited us, Ibu Yuli, Prof. Yuli. Ibu Yuriana, you're so lucky have a professor like Ibu Yuli. Maybe if we have a long time, maybe Ibu Yuli Ramawati have special invitation go to our university. If Ibu Yuli don't mind, someday, if God willing. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, we will continue, Prof. Yuli, okay?
Yeah, thank you so
Okay.
much.
We're
I
going,
really want to meet you.
okay. Oh, you are the students of Ibu Yuli, Ibu Yuri.
Yeah, Buyana is also the lectures in the sports science, and then she completed the PhD, so we haven't met again after completion the PhD.
Okay, thank you very much. Now we're going to the next presenters is Mas Aksilan Bagus. Monggo.
May I
Mr.
share
Aksilan
my
Bagus. Okay.
PowerPoint?
This is the friend of Johannes, right?
Before I start the presentation, I just want to say thank you for Mrs. Yuli and Ma'am Neni Mariana to open my insight about transformative education research and helping me to develop my teaching ability. Thank you. Okay. Uh, First one is, can you see my PowerPoint? All? Hello, can you see my PowerPoint?
Yes,
Yeah, clear.
yeah.
Mr. Aksilan is clear, very vivid.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Axelian Bagus Kusuma from Elementary Teacher Education Program, State University of Surabaya, UNESA. Today, I will present my paper. The title is Reflecting the Problem in Learning Activity, Realizing Joyful Mathematics Teaching and Learning Through the Emotion Shown by Students. Before I start about the paper, I will introduce myself. I am a student in the elementary school teacher education program at...
Sorry, Akslian sudah share screen.
Sudah, Bro.
Okay.
Can you see my share?
Nah, done.
Yes.
Oh. I am a student in the elementary school teacher education program at State University of Surabaya or UNESA, and the recipient of the KIPK scholarship, which cover my tuition fees through the government support. I view teaching as a way to express my gratitude to my country, and I always strive to do my best in this role. Moreover, I see teaching as a form of worship in accordance with my Islamic beliefs, which emphasize that knowledge is only valuable when shared with others. In my teaching, I apply a constructivist approach, encouraging students to actively participate, ask questions, and share their opinions during class. I became familiar with transformative research through my lecturer, Mrs. Neni Mariana at UNESA. She introduced me to reflective-based research, which sparked my interest and led me to join the transformative education research group. In this group, I had the opportunity to meet Prof. Yuli, and through both Prof. Yuli and Mrs. Neni, I was introduced to living educational theory. This theory helped me to realize the significant role we play in teaching and learning activities by reflecting on our experience so we can continuously improve the quality of the learning process. Okay, these are my values. I have explained it before. We move to the next slide. During my studies for my bachelor degree, I was frequently assigned to schools to implement lessons, including mathematics. In this assignment, I often noticed that many children didn't enjoy mathematics and found it challenging when asked to solve or discuss related problems. Alongside my school assignment, I also work as a private tutor from door to door. In this role, I encountered similar issues with many children disliking or even hating mathematics. The challenge I faced in private tutoring were even more complex. I recall one instance where a student became so frustrated that they tore up the math worksheet I had given them. This incident prompted me to reflect on my teaching approach, asking myself, what is going wrong with my teaching? After analyzing several teaching approach, asking myself, I identified the root of the problem and developed a solution, and I found the answer. After I found the answer, that make me to that inspired me to write a paper, this paper, reflecting the problem in learning activity, realizing joyful mathematics, teaching and learning through the emotion shown by students using the living educational theory method. So after I found the problem, I found the solution of my problem that make me motivated to writing this paper. So in the next discussion, I will explain to you about how I solve the problem that I face using the emotion based on my experience as a private tutor and undergraduate student. When I was teaching mathematics at school, I encountered the following issue. When students had difficulty understanding, I would unconsciously raise my voice to emphasize my explanation. But unfortunately, this often scared the students because I am a man. So sometimes I don't recognize that I use my high tone in my learning activity. I was confused by the situation because on one hand, they struggled to comprehend the material, but on the other, I was unsure how to address the issue. My biggest fear was that this approach might lead them to hate mathematics for rest their of life. So I have a similar challenge in my private, and I face similar challenge in my private tutoring sessions. One of my students would always bring a object like a toys, batteries, or cars to the lesson. If you see through this picture, the students bring a clue in my learning activity. So sometimes I think this my student didn't hear my lesson activity, but she trying to distract about my explanation. So this distracted both the student and the learning process, causing a lack of focus during mathematics lessons. As mentioned earlier, I even had a student tear up the math assessment I gave them in frustration. So sometimes when I'm teaching mathematics, she ripped the paper what I had given them. Given this challenge, how do I resolve these issues? Before explaining the solution, I will reflect on both my experience and those of others regarding mathematics. Based on my experience, in the past, when I studied mathematics, my mother usually told me to buy things. After returning to buy that things, my mother will ask me, how much does it cost? How much money did you bring? Is there any change or not? When I couldn't answer, my mother would get angry. And when I wrote this paper, I was guided by Prof. Yuli, Prof. Jack Whitehead, and Mary Stable, and the others. During the coaching session, we shared about the experience about mathematic activity in her element when they still in elementary school before. And one of them, she said, when I can't answer math, the teacher will hit me. In Indonesia, you can see through this slide, ketika saya tidak bisa menjawab matematika soal SD dulu, guru akan memukul saya. It is based on other people experience. One of these people on discussion in this coaching session. So the feeling felt in conclusion, based on both my experience and her, the emotions we felt during this situation are a significant aspect of the teaching and learning process. Because if the people feeling sad, angry, and happy, it can be automatically effect on our learning activity. Emotion based on journal, emotion influence a person learning ability, especially in learning mathematics. So my opinion about emotion in mathematics is strengthening by research on Ting et al. 2017. If the person is angry and sad, the learning they do will automatically be disliked and even hated for the rest of their life. Teachers are responsible for providing learning that is based on student emotions so that learning will be enjoyable. And then, how do I solve the problem what I faced in previous problem? The first one is using my experience when studying the RME culture based by Mrs. Neri Mariana. So in my college, when I'm studies at my college, I was taught about realistic mathematics education based on culture. So I use culture as an approach to mathematics such as tahu tek, reok ponorogo, lontong kupang, and other traditional food Indonesia as a means of introducing geometry. But before I understand about the culture of my student, I need to analyze about what emotion they shown, so I can analyze if it's through the culture of she have or not. And this number two, fun learning arises when students are actively involved in learning. Apart from being culture-based, I also teach mathematics on a student-centered basis. Students are required to be active in my learning activity using discovering every concept they obtain. But if we want to student active in our learning activity, we need to analyze what emotion are shown by students. Number three, we can make fun learning based on the emotions shown by students. Emotions are sometimes overlooked by teacher in preparing lesson. In fact, teacher who understand emotion will be very helpful in creating learning and what steps teacher should take. The emotion of happiness, sadness, and anger are very basic emotion experienced by humans. So it is very necessary for teachers to prepare lessons when students experience these emotions. As in the picture beside, I use sticker that students bring when learning as material in providing the concept of division in mathematics. You can see through the picture and on the right picture on the right of this picture of sticker, you can see student worksheet using Reok Ponorogo as a material. And then how my living educational can influence education in Indonesia. On this slide, I will explain how my living educational influence me in implementing emotion-based mathematics teaching in Indonesia. The first one is through the Kampus Mengajar Angkatan 7, an independent campus program by the Indonesian Ministry of Education to improve literacy and numeracy skill held in February until July 2024. I succeed in carrying out mathematics learning activity on the theme of mean, median, and mode for junior high school students. On Kampus Mengajar, I am also required to provide fun mathematics learnings. At that time, the emotion felt by the students were happy about the construction of a tall mosque. tower. So I create a learning media related to tall buildings, namely Let's Build the Tower. You can see through this picture on the left. So I created learning media related to all buildings, related to that mosque with the mathematical material of mean, median, and mode. And number 2, designing fun learning for elementary schools in Surabaya City through the Surabaya Mengajar program. Different from Kampus Mengajar, the Surabaya Mengajar program is a program that I'm currently undertaking and will end in November. So this program gives students like me to teach in school classes to provide a fresh and up-to-date knowledge. The emotion shown by students help me in designing learning that is contextual and interesting for students. And because I'm motivated by Peter presentation yesterday, I want to make a statement before I end my presentation. Mathematics without emotion is an illusion. Thank you. That's all my presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mas Aksilan. Mas Aksilan, you have presented your material. Now you invited for another participants in giving a questions, maybe clarification or additional information. You are sweating, Pak Aksilan. You are sweating.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. In the chat, the room chat, Akshilan from the Ibu Mrs. Mary Huxtable. You might find the work Dr. Bryn Williamson of interest. You can find some link to his work, mathematic teaching, and his contact detail in his living poster. Access from wow, it's valuable. Mr. Akshilan, you can copy it into your notepad and then you must browse this um, into this link. Okay, thank you very much. We really appreciate for your additional information, Mrs. Mary Huxtable. Next, Mr. Akshilan, you want to say directly to Ibu Mary, because I'm only the moderator, only the facilitator who facilitate you to have
Mrs. Mary
additional
is
information.
helping me to writing this paper, Mr. Wilham. I'm so really helpful. And Mrs. Yuli too. Mrs. Yuli.
Okay, thank you.
Actually, this is my first time doing my research using transformative education research.
Not a problem. Why you are sweating?
I
Mr.
turn off
Akshilan?
my fan because if I turn on my fan, it's coming. It's
Oh, I
masuk
see.
masukin
There
itu.
will be a noise
Yeah.
in your
So I'm
headphone,
sweating.
like the helicopter voice. But you make a great presentation, Mr. Aksilan, and you have an additional information for the expert person. And Ibu Yuli, Prof. Yuli, time
Yeah.
is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Akslian. So we are waiting for your next reflection and also the paper. But I'm curious within your experience because you are pre-service mathematics teachers, and then for me, I don't want to become a mathematics teacher because my mathematics teacher was really frightening me because he always
Terrifying.
yeah he always hit me if didn't remember the calculation,
Wow.
not answer
But
the
very
question.
terrifying
Yeah.
teachers.
So both in the
Frightening
yeah
teachers.
both in the elementary and also in the junior high school. So I would like to know, do you have a bad experience?
Yes, the moderator also have the same experience. For those who are not Indonesian, they like mathematica. It means mate. It means death. Sorry for Mrs. Mary and also from the Nepal or from the foreign country from Indonesia. usually they mocking the mathematics. Mati is it means dead.
Yeah, so
Dead
I'm really
subject.
curious how Axlian choosing for become a mathematics teacher. I'm
Actually,
it's a noble
always
quest.
positive experience
uh,
in
It's a
mathematics.
noble quest, Axilan.
Actually, Prof. Yuli, in my writing paper, I have been explained about the emotion on based on my experience about mathematics. It's a lot of emotion: sad, happy, angry, and sometimes sad emotion is not a bad enough to be making a mathematics career. Sometimes the sad emotion make me to be motivation to make me learn about mathematics, because the sad emotion what I feel is when my mother uh, riding mengantar driving me in my course about mathematics. So in my elementary in my elementary school before, I am doing course about mathematics. So my mother always driving me in that course. Flood, summer and hot spring and any other challenge what I face motivated me to learning about mathematics.
Yeah,
So I'm being sad to see my mother.
yeah. So we are waiting for you for become inspiring mathematics teachers and creating joyful learning experience for mathematics. Thank you, Axlian.
Thank you, Prof. Yuli. Thank you, Mr. Ulak.
Because the time is out, Axilan. You're so lucky because you have additional information and Prof. Yuli encourage you. It's waiting for your new work. Okay, now we're going to next presenters, Ibu Susi Fitri. Ibu Susi Fitri, yes, please. Ibu
Thank
Susi
you.
Fitri not only active in here, only no keynote speakers, is also active asking questions. I'm very happy with you, Ibu Susi.
Yeah, thank you, Pak Zudi. Thank you, everyone. Today I want to present my paper about cultivating
Sudah saya
compassion.
coba.
Cultivating compassion, my journey in teaching multicultural awareness from educational living theory perspective. I'm a lecturer from the guidance and counseling from Jakarta State University. My concern is very much based on my involvement in dealing with conflict. But first, I want to tell you who I am. It was precisely 3 months before President Suharto's resignation brought about the fall of the new order when I was selected as a lecturer. So the time when I start my career is very much also the time that our country has a power shifting in politics. When the new order collapsed, there was violence against Chinese in Jakarta and neighboring areas where I was living. And after a few years, I also encountered a religious-based conflict between Islam and Christianity in Ambon, and also inter-ethnic conflict in Borneo. At that time, I was also sent to study consular professional education in the island of Sumatra.
Maaf, Mbak Susi,
Bu Susi,
udah share screen
could
belum?
you make a broader
Screen.
presentations, please? Make it bigger. That's right. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, since I also that's before I explained about my involvement in no, I start my career in the political shifting in our political shifting in our government, and it's caused several conflict, whether it's conflict based on religion or in ethnic in Ambon, Jakarta, and Borneo. And at that time, I also studied at the professional counselor professional in Sumatra. Sumatra is different island while I live in Java. And at that time, there is some talks in social at there that Sumatra maybe will be separate from Java, and fearing about the Indonesia will be divided like Balkans, which is happens in before. So my understanding about being Indonesians is it's shifting from the belief that we are together, that we will be happy together, we always live together respectfully. It's shifting my ideas that the diversity in Indonesia, not only our strengths, but also maybe our weaknesses. In addition for that, I'm also involved in intervention for natural disaster in Aceh, because at 2006, Aceh has this disaster from tsunami. I think that is the biggest disaster in early 20. It happens like two, 250 million people, 100,000 people are died at that time. And I'm involved in helping the teacher dealing with trauma because of disaster. But the interesting is that the teacher talk not on mostly not about the natural disaster. They talk about the military I don't want to say invasion, but military intervention from our government, which make them very traumatic. So the experience of involving in intervention with conflict and recovery from the, let's say, military involvement because of social identity made me realize that people were killed by weapons made by engineers. People are provoked by media made by journalists. Sectarian discourses are made by traditional religious leaders, political figures from the university, and also the social figures. Women, children, civilian men were shot by graduates of school and university. So my point is that having education not make you being a civilized people. It seems like that people can be killed, murdered, and shot by the people who are having higher education level. So this knowledge motivates me to work hard in education, because that is my responsibility to assist my students realizing their humanity with ethic of care. Because I think having a high level of education without having some kind of a humanity, some kind of care, some kind of that make human being the center of your business and education, you will be very easy to justify our behavior, to dismiss, to exclude other people. So this is also happens in helping profession, like because if the people who is in helping relation doesn't understand the complexities of human nature, we will be able to be cruel in our service in mental health, because we think that some people are weak because of their mental issues. Some people will be disorder because of their mental issue, and that kind of people would be justified to excluded from the society. So I think consular educators need to consider their own principles. And I think based on my experience and also my reading from the research, that compassion is the most significant values, because if we want to have a people who are understand and accept humans as a center of the business, we need to be able to have compassion as the basic values. And also because of the Indonesian experience in peace building, compassion is one of the most important ingredients. So in the context of my course is I'm teaching multicultural counseling And the fact that Indonesia has a multicultural and diverse nation, but living in diversity as community respectfully, that's different from diverse as a fact. We in Indonesian experience, we are so proud of Bhinneka Tunggal Ika, but having the slogan of Bhinneka Tunggal Ika doesn't make you automatically are able to living in diversity respectfully. So it needs to be educated. And the purpose of my course is to provide my students a knowledge and awareness of their own and others' cultural experience, so they can be better understand the client in the future. Not only the client as a client that has like a psychological symptom or emotional symptom, but I want my students understand that they are human with different kind of background, with different kind of living walk of life. So by understanding their own culture, they will be understanding the other culture. So it will make them see the client as a human, not the client as like a community that you need to fix, that you need to be cured, but understanding human with different variety of experience that cause them having maybe a mental issue. And when I learning my doctorate, I'm interested in narrative approach in learning and narrative counseling. So from the pedagogical and research perspective, and then I incorporating narrative into my classes. So I use narrative. Bella is one of my students. To their reflect their different kind of social identity, and they reflect on how this kind of identity influence their life and influence the way they see other people. Even though I have already used narrative, but educational living theory gave me like different kind of perspective, not different kind of perspective, but helping me like on track to reflect what I do as a counselor educator. I met Mary and Jack at the Third International Conference on Transformative Education Research and Sustainable Development on Nepal. And since then, we in Indonesia form a research group on educational living theory with teachers and teachers education educator, and especially from my department guidance and counseling, I kind of succeed to persuade several of my alumni to be in this kind of network, and they develop their own researcher based on their own experience. And a part of my community service at university, I coach several counselors in Jakarta to use
Sorry,
the living theory as a
excuse me.
method to reflect.
Mrs.
Yes.
Susi, I want to
5
remind you
minutes, right?
that you have 5 minutes left to
Okay.
present. Thank you.
Thank you. So this is us. This is a compassion. Compassion in guidance and counseling has already been researched since from early education to higher education. And especially in counseling, compassion has been known as intervention. For example, like compassion focused therapy, compassion mind guide covering from trauma. But also compassion is identified as a compassion fatigue. So the compassion is not only emotion, but also moral guide in our work. This is some of the work of the. So why teaching compassion is very important, because one of the evolving emerging approach in education is trauma informed school. And I think by doing this, by acknowledge that people coming to school having trauma will need to teacher to be able to understand the trauma. So how do I cultivating compassion in my classroom? So this is the structure of my course. Consists of 4 reflective essay, discussion for understanding through the concept, social contact, and discussion from understanding. the outcome of the course is cultural biography compiled as book. This is my students' outcome from our course. So this is the compassion experience. The data that I developed in this paper is from the course design, reflective essay, social contact report, compassion letters, and reflective from overall learning experience. So there is 6 elements of compassion that I identify based on this the data. First is acknowledge the pain. This is, you can see that this is the pain that my students experience and also acknowledge from their reflective essay, like peer marginalization, childhood sexual harassment, fundamental stigmatization, ethnic insults, micro assault as a religious minority. For example, there is a lot of pain that my students and also the respondents happens through their contact social. So pain exists in our students. And the third is diffusing self-judgment. Usually when we are dealing with different people, we also doing judge for them. And we also doing self-judging. For example, many female students learn self-criticism for the appearance from the patriarchal view of women that they internalize, that they have to be beautiful for men, they have to have good shape for men, for example, or for to be able to have career because you are beautiful. So we critically examine that kind of thing and respond with kindness. This is the when we acknowledge pain, there is act of kindness. For example, that my students experience in our course some form of kindness response related to characters of respondent, recognition and affirmation of a condition faced by the respondent, defense against the stigma experienced by the respondent. So I'm happy that my students not only learn about the trauma, but they're able to defend.
Okay, sorry, Mrs. Susi. Your time is out. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Mrs. Susi, very interesting. I noted from beginning until the last, but the time limit us. Now we invite another participants to ask more details, maybe from Ibu Susi's presentation. Maybe you have additional information to make the paper of Ibu Susi becomes more insightful, maybe. I invite all of you.
Yeah, me. So I always curious with Bu Susi. So like
Yes.
being a counselor, um, how do you deal with your own problems? Like you counselor others and then how you deal with your own. Uh,
Thank
it is
you, Yuli.
implement the way you counselor others and then implement to yourself. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I curious that's kind of story can be also include like 2 ways of reflection from your students or your counselee and then also yourself.
Very good question, Ibu Yulia.
Yeah, first of all, I have to be able to do this to myself. Like I have to acknowledge my pain. Like every time I'm dealing with my pain, like now I'm grieving because of my father's die last month. So I'm not denying that I'm grieving. I'm not denying that I'm sad. I'm not denying that this is difficult. So I accepting the pain. Like in counseling, we have the name for that. We call it sitting with emotion. So every time I have the pain, every time I have emotion, I'm sitting with my emotion. I'm not denying, I'm not displacing, I'm not rejecting. So I just sit. So I have time for myself. If I have this kind of pain, I will regulate it. And the second one that I'm doing with my own self is making boundary. Like if my emotion is so full, for example, I will cut many things that will be distract me, for example. So maybe not many people like it, because some boundary that I have to do is with my my authority, for example, my atasan, for example, or my colleague, or my students, for example. But first, I also consider my mental health is the first. Maybe Yuli also happens experience when I make boundary, for example. If she asks me to her lunch, for example, I would say, if I cannot, I said, I'm sorry, Yuli, I cannot now because I need to rest, for example. So that's mostly that is that two things that I will strictly doing that to myself. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ibu Susi. Wow, you are great, Ibu Susi. I appreciate Ibu Susi how to handle her problems, because I become the witness. Someone have a skin disease, go to a doctors to cure about her skin disease, and he looked by herself. The doctor actually have also the skin disease cannot cure by himself, but it's different with Ibu Susi. When she had a problem, he know to handle it and overcome it, and I appreciate, and also you impress us much by your good example, and then you know, the good people. Thank you, Ibu Susi.
Thank you.
Okay, maybe. Oh, you still have 1 minute, Ibu Susi. Ibu Susi is the colleague with Ibu Yuli, if the
Yes.
same.
Yes, me and Yuli, we are developing educational living theory networking research. So
Yeah,
I also have several projects on research and community service with Yuli.
Oh, okay. No wonder you call. I call Professor Yuli. You just say her name Yuli. Huh? It means you have a close relationship.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
the same colleague from UNJ, the same UNJ.
Yes. Yuli doesn't like being called professor anyway. So I
Yeah.
call Professor.
But it's kind of respect.
Yes,
It's
I
an
know, I
honor.
know, I know.
But Ibu Susi, maybe with just a moment, maybe your professorship will be will be good down to you, Ibu Susi.
I mean,
I mean, please don't forget Unesa.
yes, I've
If
just been
you,
there.
maybe you met me on the street and don't call me Susi. I'm Prof. Call me Prof. There is someone like that one.
I just from UNESA from like last week, like last 2 weeks. I'm from UNESA from
And what
physical
faculty?
lecture,
What faculty, Ibu Susi?
education.
Oh, why you did not meet me? Maybe you in a master degree, or maybe
Magister
maybe I must
degree.
go out with Ibu Nenis. With Ibu Neni.
I met the dean and also the
Oh,
guidance and counseling Pak Surna.
yes. Pak Nur Salim.
Yes.
Prof. Nur Salim. Yes, he's from guidance and counseling also. The same department like you. Pak Nur Salim, Prof. Nur Salim, right?
Pak Sunawan.
Pak
Pak
Sunawan.
Sunawan is the head of the Department of Magisters of Guidance and Counseling.
Oh, in UNESA.
UNESA, yes.
Oh, not UNES.
UNES. Oh, sorry, UNES. Sorry.
Oh, I'm fine.
UNESB.
That kind of,
UNESB.
there
Not
is no
UNESA.
one in no UNESA by that name. Ibu
Yes, yes.
Susi.
So
The
we
dean
have a
is Mr.
we
is
have a
Professor Nur Salim. There's no Sunawan. There is no one in here by that name.
but Budi Purwoko is my friend.
Yes, Professor Budi Purwoko is Vice Dean one. Okay.
Yes,
We
Vice
going to the next presenters. Thank you, Ibu Susi.
I'm the last presenter,
Thank
right?
you. Now we going to Febri. There is no Febri Arsita and Puspa. Puspa is not here also. And then Bineta have been done. And I want to know who is the person in this breakout room haven't presented yet. Please raise your hand. So I'm, as the facilitator and moderator, can please you to present your paper. Brian would be very pleased to talk to you about a joyful mathematics and living. Wow, Brian. Yes, Brian. Thank you. Thank you, Professor Mary. Where is Brian? Brian, you are invited in here. Brian. Brian, operator, can you highlight Brian Williamson? Is Brian Williamson in here?
No, no. It's
No,
it's
no,
in
no.
the link that Mary provided from Axlian.
Oh, I see.
I just thought that it might be helpful because one of the things I think that this conference is about is making connections.
Ah,
Sure, Mrs. Mary.
thank you
Thanks for
very
being
much. Thank you
helpful.
very much.
Thank you so
Okay,
much.
thank
We're in
you.
a fluid space, which is one of the exciting things about what it is that people are doing here. So, yeah. Sometimes people are hesitant. I'm just saying to you, Brian Williamson would be very pleased to hear from you, Axlian, because like you, he's very keen on people actually enjoying their experiences of mathematics and how that influences and how he's bringing that in. So
We get pleased.
Thank you. Thank
Really
you,
get
Mrs. Mary.
pleased by your information. Are anyone? Mr. Lamin, are you going to present something, Mr. Lamin? Mr. Lamin, hello. In consonant with the specific term, math and science. I'm laughing. In the chat room, in the counseling, there is a specific term, math anxiety. Ibu Susi, you're so funny. One of most hated subject in the primary school when I was a kid. Ibu Sharofa, maybe? Yes, yes. Wide world experience. Ibu Yana, there is no other participant who's going to present. Yeah, I'm talking with the committee. If there is no one, you can end the session. Is it right?
Yes, sir. We can end the session if participant in here not will be present their paper.
Yes, because you have a confirmation from the committee that Ibu Puspa and Ibu Febri Arsita is not join this conference, so the presenters have make the presentation, and well done to all of you. So thank you very much for all the presenters, Prof. Yuli, Ibu Susi, Mas Akilan, Ibu Mary, Miss Mary. Also, I call other participants, Mr. Hadi Supratikno, Ibu Bella, Pak Lamin, Mr. Heru Subrata. Oh, Ibu Sharofa, it's not a problem. It's an honor you are to be here, Ibu Sharofa, because I'm on the way. And Mr. Muhammad Fauzan, I do not know. It's kind of BKS. It's kind of maybe Ibu. I do not know. Ibu Swami, and also thank you for all the participants and all the presenters especially, and hopefully we get the new insight through this breakout room 3. And once more, thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ibu Yuli, thank you very much. Special for you because you have sent me. I have downloaded your presentations.
Yes, thank you. So we will be back at 12:30. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye bye, everyone. See you soon.